when NSAS happened and they murdered all the people they murdered, and we came into the public space and spoke about how the system had massacred people. And they said we were lying. They said they were all lies. They even had people come into the public space to claim that we were lying. And then they set up the panel, and we followed them to the panel. Each and every member of the panel was nominated by the government. Each and every one of them. Nigerians like me and you, with each and every one of our many peccadillos. It included a retired DIG. A judge, a retired judge, sat at the head of that panel. I believe two of the members of that panel have gone on to become judges in Lagos State today. So these were average Nigerians like me and you, with all of the many peccadillos of the Nigerians. But they sat together and they came to a unanimous decision because evidence that were placed in the public domain and before the courts were way too weighty to be discounted. This is more or less the same situation on a bigger scale. We are back before a system that we do not necessarily trust. I am a member of Ramimba. Before we went to the tribunal, we were against the tribunal. We stood outside the tribunal carrying banner, protesting against the tribunal. And then we decided, you know what? Let's use their tribunal to unmask them in the public space. So we went before the tribunal and we brought evidence into the public space that the government would have preferred were not placed in the public space and that would never have found its way into the public space if we had abandoned that process. We were not going before the tribunal in any hope of justice, but we were determined to use the system to unrobe the Nigerian state. So we used the system. Because we went before the tribunal, we could show all the evidence we had, and the public could also see it. And at the end of the process, unanimous, not one dissenting vote, the tribunal voted that as a fact, there was a massacre. As a fact, the Lagos state government can say anything it cares to say. That's political. I don't expect Jide Sanwo-Olu to come out and say, yes, I facilitated a massacre. I don't expect the Nigerian army to say, yes, we were the murderers. But the tribunal, made up of men and women, nominated by the government, only nominated by the government, found that there was one. So I would say that the situation we are in now, why it's not exactly the same, is analogous to it. Because now, we're before a tribunal. I do not have any trust whatsoever, and I repeat myself, let me not be ambiguous. I have zero trust in the Nigerian judiciary. I believe that judiciary is essentially a brothel. It is no different from a brothel. I believe that our CJN is either completely corrupt or irredeemably incompetent. Those are my beliefs. I have said this before, over a year ago, before Peter Obi or his election came to be, before anybody would start talking about the politicization of my comments. It has nothing to do with Peter Obi's comments. If anybody has the time, let them go to my Arise interview in June last year, when he was appointed the acting CJN. I was categorical in remarking that the man is either incredibly incompetent or unbelievably corrupt. And I stated the basis of my belief. So let's be clear. I am not saying what I'm saying out of any faith in the judiciary. And I'm not suggesting that we are going before the judiciary in the hope that the judiciary might present anything other than what it has always done. After all, the same judiciary produced the ruling in Machina. The same judiciary produced his ridiculous ruling in the case of Akpabio. The same judiciary produced the horrible ruling that we saw in Imo State. So I'm not sitting down here selling anybody any pipe dreams of a judiciary that is either incorruptible or that produces justice. But that process serves to educate our people about what we are up against. There is a clear line that has been drawn. This is a battle between good and evil. It is a battle between whether Nigeria is going to go into the future or whether it is locked into a cycle of self-destruction. Because I cannot for the life of me understand how any country that is desirous of going into the future can be yoked to the career criminal that they have produced as president-elect against the expressed will of the people. If he had won an election, that would be different. If he had won an election, it would simply mean that that is the ugliness and beauty of democracy. We would have had to accept it. But Bola Ahmed Tinubu, whatever his true name might be, did not win any election. He is attempting to steal one. And it is the duty of everybody who has a conscience and who is truly desirous of a Nigeria worthy of being bequeathed to our children. We have a duty to oppose this.